Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got shows, boys feeling like Broadway. Always look both ways, even on a crossway. Driving down Cross Bay, out town Barclays. Really on big things, came up a small way. Championship rings, baby, that's a ball game. Oh, she want a little bag, baby, that's small change.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Epic Podcast. I'm joined tonight by my guy Jared and Justin, man. How was y'all sports weekend?
I'm trying to think of what happened.
Man.
I'm not even sure I had a sports weekend this weekend, man. I just was kicking it, man. You know, we had a little Christmas party. I seen you
Oh
at.
yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, I don't
Make
even
the trip.
recall even.
Uh what about the Bengals, man? I hear a lot of people dumping on Burrow right now, man. What's up
You
with
said you
that?
do or you don't.
I do. Just
Hmm.
talking about like just a lot of the games, been close or one score games for the most part, and just timely turnovers. Even though he don't have a bunch, just at the time that they
Yeah.
happen, kind of blaming him in a sense.
We have not done some things at times where the only thing that you could not do is not do what we didn't do.
Right.
If that makes any sense. A whole bunch of
Yeah,
double.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, nah. I mean, I get it because even like that Dallas game, I mean, we should once that punt got blocked, I feel like our chances of winning were like probably like 1% or even less than that, really. So we got a break. You know, we got one of them Kansas City Chief wins there.
hmm
But I mean, I don't know, man. You can't really blame Burrow. I do think like the schemes and the strategy gets dumb at times. But I mean, I feel like, man, like I was telling one of my other homeboys, like, man, you put Burrow on like the Eagles. Come on, man. I think if you
A
put
lot
Burrow
of teams.
on a few teams, they're undefeated. So I can't really blame Burrow. I mean, like I said, he's made a couple, turnovers that's like, dang, bro. But still, even in those games, we had chances to win and multiple chances to win. So can't really blame him. But I mean, what can you
Yeah, and
do?
I think it all, like you've been saying most of the year, like it all circles back around to the defense too. Like maybe 5 stops, y'all record is
Yeah,
totally flipped. You know what I mean?
over the course of the
Over
season,
the
not
course of
even
the season. Yeah,
one
that's what I'm just
game.
saying. Like five like key stops. You
Yeah,
know what
if
I
you
mean?
could
Over
give
the
us
season,
five
could have flipped.
points that I can
Yeah,
spread throughout the season,
that's
we
it.
probably are
Yeah, record easily flipped or better.
for sure.
So yeah, I don't put it all on Burrow. Like I said, I think some games is just like we couldn't have that fumble right there. We couldn't have that interception right there.
Hmm.
Like I said, it wasn't a lot, but like you said, when you got 4 losses when you score 30 or more points, and I think 8 when y'all score 20 or more,
It's
25
crazy.
or more, something like that. You know what I mean? It's just like maybe, like I said, the record's probably flipped if in key situations there's not a turnover, or like you said, if we get 5 punts to spread over the season, I think records completely different.
That's a
And
fact.
if you're gonna say that about Burrow, you got to kind of go to the other side of that, I think, too, with KC and be like, okay, well, hey, there's been at least 5 games which, like, we got a toe, we got a penalty, we got a block punt, field goal at the end of the game. Like, you know what I
Or
mean? There's just
missed
been like
field goal or something.
one situation where it's just been like bam, 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 where their record, is closer to 9-5. You know what I'm saying? Than undefeated or something like that. So,
Yeah,
I'd
that's
agree with
a fact.
that. What about you, Justin, man? How was your sports weekend, man? What, oh, did he? Oh, I think he got kicked off. But he'll jump back in when he
How
get
was
back.
your sports weekend, brother?
Man. Oh, shoot, man. The Colts, man. Like multiple chances to win that game, but after that, JT, like after he dropped the ball at the, you know what I mean?
That
Just
was wild.
it was just bam. It was just like nothing after that. I think that just like killed the momentum for the game.
Hey, that
Because
double
we
back.
had Denver, we was locking them down. We got the turnovers, but it was just like after that overturn, which I heard that they overturned it somewhere else, but I mean, it don't matter at this point. But it was like right then we could have went up two scores going into halftime and kind of had that whole momentum, throughout the second half. And I just think it was just like after that, it was like kind of demoralizing to the team. Even though the defense was still playing tough, it was like they were tired. Like we wasn't moving the ball. AR and them, we couldn't move the ball no more after that. So yeah.
Hey, we did something like that too, man. We had a fumble return by a guy from Alabama, Jordan Battle, returned
Mm-hmm.
all the way to the goal line and then fumbled the ball right at the goal line. Of course,
Just
the
dropped
ball
it. Yeah.
through the end zone, and yeah,
And which is odd for JT because he's not a big celebrator and he don't usually do that. He usually run through the end zone most of the times, especially on his long runs. He usually run through the end zone. But being at a away game, you're not going to run all the way to the wall like you would at Lucas Oil to celebrate. But just that nonetheless. I mean, and then a game like after that, it was just drops after drops. Couldn't get no offense going. You know what I mean? None
yeah,
of the QB design runs was working anymore because they kind of honed in on it, and like I said, a lot of scores after that because they went on 24 straight almost after that. Denver scoring without us scoring a point. So yeah, it was tough, but I mean, it is what it is. Justin, we was asking you before you slid out. How's your sports weekend, man? Anything going on in Baltimore we need to know about?
Nah, not really. I mean,
You
same old,
think
same old. So,
you think he gonna win MVP over Josh Lamar?
um,
Or do you think he
I
deserves it?
had
I'll
this
say that.
conversation.
That's a better question.
I'll say it this way.
At this
I made
point in
this
the
comment.
season, I'm sorry.
I made this comment to a buddy of mine earlier, and I said I'm very curious to see how the national media will spin this because, from statistically speaking, it should be Lamar. It's no question.
Okay.
And I mean, the reality is, at the rate he's going to rush for 1,000 and throw for over 4,000 and be top two in the league, if not number one in passing touchdowns. I mean, so statistically speaking, his numbers are dumb.
Mhm.
Now, what comes into question is they're going to say Buffalo's won more games, and for me, it goes back to quarterbacks get all the credit when they win, and it's a very flawed system. So I would say this: does he deserve to win? Probably, for what
Okay.
he's doing. Is he going to win? No. To a degree, it's probably a little bit of voter fatigue as well. When it comes to
That
Lamar,
too.
because each year it's like he's winning because guys that they expect to win don't end up
Oh,
having the season. Whether
yeah.
it's Mahomes or the Hertzes or Jared Goffs or whoever, they don't end
Mhm.
up having the season, and it just seems like Lamar year in year out is just having really good seasons in the regular season. So
Yeah. And then you
I don't
always
know.
have to
We'll see.
couple
We'll see.
his you always have to couple his running ability too, so rushing touchdown stuff like that in yards. Like Josh Allen, he gets
Yeah.
a lot of touchdowns because he runs in the red zone a lot, but he doesn't
Mhm.
really get the yardage. He doesn't
Not the
break those
yardage.
type of
Mm-mm.
runs that Lamar do. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, and I
Yep.
think the other quarterback that's kind of in that conversation is Golf, but he doesn't have any of the rushing stats. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like
Yeah, golf. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think golf
yeah,
has a chance. I think it's
yeah.
between Allen and Lamar.
And I think
Um,
the rushing is what separates them. Like I don't think
yeah,
it's arm.
that's kind of where well, I think it's impressive. If I ain't mistaken, last time I had looked, Lamar was up to like 37 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, which is more touchdowns than Josh and less interceptions than Josh.
right.
I mean,
Yeah, I think he's
like
leading the
I
league
think
in
his QB
QBR
rate was
too.
like 120 or something. Yeah, like so. I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, statistically, they won't be able to justify not giving it to Lamar. So I'm just
Hmm.
curious to see how they try to spin it in the national media as to why Josh gets it. Because the only thing they'll be able to say is
His
the
record.
Bills have a better record. Hmm.
Right. Right.
what do y'all
Yeah.
think
But
about?
we'll see. Because I mean,
Oh,
no, I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
I think more importantly, I don't think Lamar has a chance to win it if they lose to Pittsburgh this weekend. I think if
Yeah.
they lose to Pittsburgh, I don't think he has a chance. If they beat Pittsburgh, I think it gives them a good chance to win
It
the
gives him a
division.
boost. I
Then that
agree.
argument, yep, and then that argument's right back in play for him winning MVP because they win the division.
Yeah. Which going into the season, based on last year, we were saying that it probably was the toughest division in football. Even though the Browns really ain't been, nowhere near what they was last year, and or Cincy. in a sense. But I mean, Baltimore and the Steelers, and they still all play each other tough. So I mean, you can still kind of give them a
Yeah,
nod as far as
yeah, all of them
a
do.
tough division.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, I think it's gonna come down to record because they're gonna be like, all right, well, who's been a bigger impact on their team? You know what I mean, and all that. Even though
Yep.
Buffalo's schedule hasn't been Baltimore's schedule, but yeah,
No.
no, I agree. I agree with that as far as definitely the media is going to push it towards Georgia. And like you said, voter fatigue, like it will be Lamar's third in what 7 years or something like
Yep.
that. So yeah, like
Yeah.
I think give Josh Allen one, and I think next year Lamar will probably be right back in that conversation again.
Sort of
And
like
who knows what the Bills will be, you know? So
Hey, I
Yeah.
have a question though. What do y'all think about two quarterbacks getting MVP and then oh, can't forget about co MVP. I don't think we've seen one of those in a minute, but that is a real thing. I think it's happened.
yes, the last time it happened was Peyton Manning and McNair.
What do y'all think about? Well, I guess that answers my question. I was going to say, what do y'all think about one getting MVP and one getting Offense Player of the Year? I think that's
Uh,
well, yeah. I mean, I guess it could happen.
yeah, but I think right now with what
Well,
Chase is doing, I
Chase,
think
but
he may get Offensive Player of the Year.
you got to look at
No,
Saquon
I was
and
gonna
Say,
say
yeah,
Saquon.
and Henry. Yeah,
yeah.
ooh.
Well, it's
I
I
think
won't
it's
be Henry
Saquon.
because
I think. Well, I was just thinking about
the
just.
reason being is because Saquon has surpassed him in yards. I hate that tush push FY. Like Jalen Hurts leads the league in touchdowns, but I hate it because like Saquon's statistics would look stupid if they gave him the ball like Baltimore gives, like Derrick Henry within the 2-3 yards out. Like
Mhm.
they tush push their way to the end zone, which kind of sucks for Saquon. But I actually asked this question, and my buddy still told me, he said no, he still wouldn't get. I said, what if Saquon breaks Eric Dickerson's record? Does he get
That's
MVP?
what I.
And it was
Okay,
like, and he said no. I'm like, I
Hmm.
mean,
that's
I
undeniable.
understand the why because it always goes to quarterbacks, but at the same time, it's I don't know, man. It's crazy,
If
and
he if he if he breaks that record, I think he gets MVP, and then you just give a quarterback um offensive player to you. You give Josh Allen or whoever, between him and Lamar, whoever comes out stat wise, you give them offensive player of the year. Only because for one, they've been talking about the diminish of the running back position. But to break that record, which a lot of people has been close to, you got the Jamal Adams, the Petersons, it's been a lot of running backs who got close. I think Ladanians got close. Chris John, like it's been a lot of running backs who ran for 2,000. You know what I mean? But like to break that record, I think then like you kind of got to take a step back and you got to respect that part of it. Because I mean, even though Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are having great seasons, like to break that record in a time where running backs you really ain't running backs ain't getting paid. Like we just been saying, what I mean, they haven't been valued the right way. To put that
mhm.
output out, that's gonna I think that will change, the outlook on running backs and probably get a slight boost in pay. But I think you give them the MVP based on that because there's been a lot of great running backs, even back in the day when they were running it 25 to 30 times, for that record not to be broken yet. And now in the age where it's mostly passing, to have somebody break it, I think that would
Don't
deserve an
forget they
MVP to
do
me.
a lot of those records. Don't forget they do have an extra game now, so that
Hmm.
you also got
Yeah,
to take that into consideration. So
but
we
you
got a
also got to look
comment
at
here.
Saquon where it's been games where he didn't win crazy and he ain't played a fourth. You know what I mean? Like I think he had like two games where he didn't really had that many attempts in the fourth, maybe one or two, because they were, Philly was up big and he already had,
Like I
enough
can't look at
yards.
the only reason why I don't look at that. I just look at the total carries because
Mhm.
I can't remember when Eric Dickerson did it if he ever set the four. Like so I can't really
Oh,
put
okay,
that into
okay.
play for
I see what
myself
you're
because
saying.
I don't know. I just
That's a
can look
good
at the
point.
total carries and see what from a carry standpoint, what's the total carries, and then you can kind of go based upon that. But we got a comment from Dennis talking about. He said, "But Lamar has done that with King Henry." I agree and I disagree. He was doing this last year. I mean, he did it. He's been doing this.
Yeah.
Are his numbers more efficient? Yes, but I don't necessarily give Derrick Henry all the credit for that because they've actually incorporated Justice Hill a whole lot more too into their run in their pass game. Don't get me wrong, Derrick Henry helps, but at the same time, I also think it's more of an evolution of Lamar as well. He's still having to be Superman to win games. So it's that's one thing I will say. And then he said he doesn't like that record because they got more games, which we were talking about with the rushing record. So I agree, but like I just said, I think I look at attempts and see if the discrepancy in attempts is huge versus the number of games that they play. So
I'm looking at it right now. They didn't even show. They were showing the. I'm trying to find the carries because that's very important. Because regardless of how many extra games a guy, how many times did they get the ball?
yeah, what was the number of carries? I think is what's important.
Because I
Um,
think
do you know how many Saquon has right now?
pulling it up right now. My computer's taking forever. Okay, there we go. Carries right now. He has on this regular season 285.
285, and Eric
Yeah.
Dickerson in his let's see here. Let me see. Hold
And
on.
he's
You
averaging
said
almost
two, hold on. You said 285,
285 right now,
and that
and that's
year
with
he had
5 games left.
379.
So that's probably so that's you said 379. So that's a
Yeah,
little under
379.
100, a little under 100 games. So
Yep,
94 carries right now.
yep.
That's
So
like
it'll
30
So
be about
games.
comparable. It'll be about
yeah.
comparable if he breaks it
Mm,
in
So in
terms
the
of the number of
next
carries.
5 games, if you divide that, that's about 20 rushes
Yeah,
a
let's say
game.
20 carries. Yeah. So if he breaks it, I think within that scope, even though on paper it's
Yeah.
going to show an extra game, by carries it's going to be
Yeah.
equal.
And he's been averaging right around there too. So I
Yeah.
mean, as
So
far as carries, if I'm looking back through the games, yeah, one game he only had 10, and that was a loss against Tampa Bay. Yeah, that's the least amount he had in the season.
yeah.
14 against Dallas. Yeah, so he's averaging on most games 20 to 26, 27. Yeah, yeah. I think like you said, if he gets close to that mark, um,
oh,
then yeah, you could. I think you give him MVP. I don't argue. I wouldn't be mad about that. Especially like you said, if Josh Allen and Lamar's stats are super close, too close to decipher a clear winner, then if he breaks that record, then I wouldn't argue with that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be like, oh, he don't deserve it or anything of that nature.
Does
So
does Chase win the Triple Crown?
that I think so. Like
as
I
long as
mean,
they
I
keep
think
going.
that's what I'm about to say. I think as long as nobody gets hurt and Bengals keep doing what they've been doing. I mean, I don't see them putting on the season and putting in the backup or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Or sitting in these starters because of their record or
No,
anything
they
like
We
that.
can't.
better, we
Yeah.
better not. But hey, I wouldn't put it past us. But we better not.
No, y'all
We gotta
can't.
play this all. Even if we do get it, so I think if the Broncos win tonight, I think we're done.
Yeah,
Yes.
same thing with
Yes.
us too.
Yes.
So, and we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that here in a minute. Let's jump in. Let's jump into a few topics. I just wanted to touch on NBA real quick. Um, of course, Milwaukee wins the NBA Cup, and I don't know, man. Like year two of it, a lot of mixed feelings out there. Anything y'all think they should change or
They should make
format
it
or
more
anything
games.
else?
They should make it more games. They should just do it by overall record. Whoever has the best record
It's the number one. Yeah,
yes, because for the Celtics to not make it, the Cavs to not come on, bro. What are we
yeah,
really doing if the best teams aren't even playing?
right.
And
You
then
just
it's like
happen to have a bad game at the wrong time and you're out.
after 2 games, people are
Yeah,
eliminated. Like it just doesn't make much sense. Doesn't make much sense.
yeah.
I
I
don't
agree
think
with that.
so. So
What about you, Justin? Anything you would change with the NBA Cup?
I mean, I'll have to
I mean,
listen to
with it being
y'all.
early, with it only been its second season, this is the time to really make improvements. You don't want to get into year 10 and start trying to make changes.
I'll be honest with you. As a whole, I can't give y'all really a good opinion on it because now this is just me, and it's not. I'm not trying to knock any of it. When the way I say this, I like the NBA today just hasn't been very appealing to me. so I haven't watched much of it. Like it's just everybody kind of plays the same. I mean, it just hasn't been entertaining for me to watch it. So I just haven't watched a lot of basketball this year. NBA, I should say. What I'll watch some college, but NBA not so much. I'm kind of over
You
a
like
lot of the
college
NBA.
better than the NBA?
I didn't say I like it better. I said I watched more
Okay.
college. Yeah, I mean, I could care less. At the end of the day, when it comes to sports, y'all should know this by now. But I mean, I care less. They don't change my lifestyle one bit. Whether they win, lose, draw, I could care less. But from an entertainment standpoint, college just has more energy.
Wow.
Those players are, little different type of playing in terms of that. So a little bit more interest in
How
watching
they how
some of
they
the
get
college.
after it and things of that
Yeah, how
nature.
they
Yeah,
get
I agree
after
with
it.
that.
Yeah. So I mean, even like just seeing the home crowds or, in college is still fun to watch, how rowdy them crowds get and all that. So it's just
Yeah.
for me that right now college has just been more entertaining than NBA. So I ain't really watching much NBA.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, I agree with you, Jared. Definitely more games, and like you said, seed them based on where they are in the season. Like
Hmm.
not just the kind of the soccer style elimination. Just like you
Yeah,
said, rank them, and make it a real tournament. And I think a half a million. Let's bump that up. Let's just make it a smooth million per player if
nah,
you
save
win.
some of that for the All Star game because, like,
But
I think people sleeping on the fact that our whole like childhood has just been wiped away.
no, I hear you on that. First off, there's enough money to do both.
Yeah, true that.
But I think a lot of the guys, even at the back of the bench, is close to making that half a million anyway. Um, but if just I think you got to make people play harder. You know what I mean? Even if you, especially if you put more games in there, you're gonna be like, okay, you're gonna have to raise the stakes a little more. So I definitely think a million just sounds better than half a million, especially the NBA players. And then, like you said, for the All Star game, like I mean, you gotta put some money out there, especially for a dunk contest. Through everybody should be getting paid an extra amount of money
You gotta
to
have some kind of
compete. And,
incentive, man.
yeah, that to do it and to play hard. If I'm gonna go out there and risk injury or anything else, then let's make it worth it. You know what I mean?
I'd almost rather see them out there lollygagging than whatever they switched it. I mean, that's crazy. NBA All Star Game is like my favorite thing in sports. Like, I'd
Yeah,
rather watch the NBA All Star Game than the Super Bowl. Like, that's just something that I've enjoyed watching from a kid. Like, it's just always interests me, and it's just like for them to just take it away is crazy to me. Like, absolutely crazy. And
yeah,
I don't even know if they really thought it through before they did it. Like, I mean, you're literally throwing all the history that they're just getting rid of is insane to me.
yeah,
Absolutely insane. So
yeah. They got the new format.
it's like
Yeah, so it's
I'm glad was able to attend the last All Star game because if I hadn't went to an All Star game, like I'd be SOL because
yeah,
they're done. Like there ain't no such
yeah.
thing as an All Star game anymore, which is
So
crazy.
it's gonna be like three teams plus a winning team from Friday night, Rising Stars. Okay, will be entered to a four-team knockout. So they're doing another tournament, which teams will play the 40.
That's
Which
crazy, bro.
NBA hope they want it to be fast paced, up and down, get the players competing, and then the winner of the first two games will meet in the championship game. This doesn't impact Saturday night events such as dunk test and 3-point shootout. How they will be chosen. So all star game starters, 5 from each conference, will be selected by the votes. So it's based on votes. NBA players, social media, whatever counts for 50%. Blah 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 blah. The 7 reserves from each conference will be selected by the head coaches, and then those players, starters and reserve, will go into a pool and be drawn into a 3 All Star teams of 8. So yeah, so they're really just breaking it up so people
That's
can't
terrible, bro.
pick. I agree. The GMs of those All Star teams right now: Charles Barkley, Shaq, and Kenny Smith were signed as honorary team GMs and draft the 24 All Stars onto their
And it's
team.
like,
So,
why would they agree to it? They always bad mouthing something. Like, why do they? Why? I guess they don't have a
but
choice.
I guess if you don't, you got to put first of most of us on TNT anyway. But you got to put faces that people listen to already in basketball in a sense, because you can't just throw some random real GMs up there, or even random coaches or somebody. Got to have some respectable names. And I think when you think of basketball and the coverage, TNT, they kind of run that with those with the Inside NBA. So. I'm not mad about. I don't know. Like they got to do something.
Like, I wouldn't say mad. 'Cause ultimately, I don't care,
Yeah,
but
but like
I
yeah,
like
like
the
you
All
said.
Star game. That's my favorite sporting event. I'd take the All Star game over the Final Four. Like, there's
Oh wow.
nothing to
Okay.
me that compares to all of my favorite players out there playing with each other, even if it is just an exhibition where they're just nothing compares to it. So it's just like, I mean,
Wow.
they ruined it for me.
Especially, but like if they're going hard though,
I don't even
you
care.
know,
Just
that's
see
my
them out
biggest thing.
there joking around. I love it. Like, I
Okay.
was never. Now, granted, I would like
Wow.
to see them like play harder a little bit, but just to see them out there just doing what they doing and laughing, have a good time, and just being themselves is what I like to see. That's just something that I've just like I said, I would
Grown
trade
to
any
enjoy.
sporting event in the world for um, the All Star game. So that's just me.
What you think about it, Justin? Same
Um,
same format or try to switch it up, try to find something that's more appealing and gets us more
only
people engaged in it, I guess just to say.
first of all, Jerry, you the first person I've ever heard say that, bro.
Me too. Me too.
Like for real, that's crazy. But I mean, I feel you. Teach his own on that. I I would almost even say this though, kind of to your point. I think the reason they're trying to switch it up is because people have lost interest because they don't play hard. I say, even like for myself, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched an All Star game.
Yeah, nah.
Like I had tickets to the one here and I sold them. So like I did like I couldn't tell you the last time I watched. Like I mean, no offense, but like they it's just again that's not basketball that attracts me. Like I like to see basketball. I like to see them actually try and play and like like so the All Star game, but that's just like the Pro Bowl and most of the All Star type stuff today is just it's not very appealing. So I couldn't tell you the last time I watched any of that stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy. I couldn't live life without the NBA All Star game, man. But I guess I'm gonna have to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
I
yeah,
enjoyed it. Like
I
at the
don't know.
one,
I don't know how you
like
enjoy like
I,
that. Like
I like the
I
I like the introductions. I like the accolades and the respect on the players that they put. You know, like I like the jackets. I like I
Yeah.
love everything about the NBA All Star game. Like I love everything about
I
it.
mean, I think
But,
so you like the
like
voting? I mean, you like when
um,
players don't play in a
yeah.
season and they still get voted to be all stars. Like
they
that stuff is crazy to me.
that don't really happen often. Like pretty much
It doesn't
everybody
matter. It's
in
not
or
often, but it happens.
it
Like we're talking
or
about something that should never.
they'll be replaced by somebody. But yeah, I want to see the best players. I don't like if you got hurt, you got hurt. That don't mean that you ain't better than other people. Like I just don't look too hard into it, man. I mean, it's a free game. It's an exhibition. I've never got with the notion that they need to just be trying to break their ankles and shit out there and get. I mean, I can't really be mad at them. Like it's kind of like the NILs. Like I like what it means. Like so, I would love to see a more serious basketball game, but I'm just gonna take what I can get. Um, I mean, I hate that it's gone. Like I enjoyed it. I mean, the whole weekend I like the rookie sophomore game. I hate that they changed it to whatever format they changed it to. And
Yeah,
now they
yeah.
changed the All Star
U.S. versus
game.
the world.
That's gonna
Yeah,
suck. But like I watched the All Star game from start to finish. Like I said, I like the introductions. I like the gear. I like the shoes. Um, I like to see Steph Curry throwing oops to LeBron. I like to see KD, throwing backdoor to Anthony Edwards. I like it. I'm sorry. I'm a fan of the NBA All Star Game. I think there could be some incentive added to it. Maybe the East or the West, whoever wins it, finals, the team gets home court. I'm with that. Like I'm with making
Kind of how they
finding
do it in baseball.
yeah,
baseball. Yeah.
I'm with finding ways to make it a little. I mean, because it would be more entertaining if it was competitive, but I wouldn't trade that game for nothing.
And like
So
you said, if you and then again, if you drop 1 million, as you know what I mean,
yeah,
for the winning
A
or
team,
million
each
ain't
player
much
get
to
a
them.
million.
put some guys in it that's going. I mean, I don't know how you fix it. I don't know how you fix it instead of like putting some incentive on it. But then I was watching a podcast earlier. They brought up a good point. They're like, well, shit. If you do give the winning conference home court advantage, and then you got LeBron starting and he's in the 10th place, but you got like Shea coming off the bench who actually could possibly make the finals. And then you kind of like, well, hold up, man. If this is for home court advantage, you got to get a players that's actually competing, that's probably going to be in the finals more minutes. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like
but that's
But
that was an
mm,
interesting point. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see that.
I
You
wouldn't.
don't
I
know.
don't
I mean,
I don't
but
I
it's
don't think
it's for
so.
the conference though.
I was
So
going to say
whoever make it,
I get that, but
so
like
it makes the West play for the West and the East play for the East.
if you got guys in it starting that aren't in contention, there's much more on the line.
but see,
Yeah,
Like
that's
sure.
why I say it goes back to the voting stuff. Like I
if you're
haven't liked the
Shea,
voting stuff.
if you're Shea
Like
and he's coming off the bench and I'm the number one seed, but I'm getting 15 minutes in the All Star game, and somebody that's LeBron, for example, and AD are sitting in the 11th place in the conference and they're getting the bulk of the minutes. They don't really. I have more interest in this game than they do because they're not even good enough to make the
I,
finals.
I
Whereas
see. I see what you're
I'm
saying. They
probably
have.
going to be there, so I'm taking it serious. They don't give a fuck because they're not making the finals. So it's just like
Yeah.
I can get how that can be a point too, but my idea was to try to incentivize it,
Or
and
or even
that,
at that moment, every team that has the possibility to make the playoffs. So let's just say the play in whatever through 10, 1 through 10. Shoot, those players are the ones that play. Hey, y'all all in playoff contention right now. Even though we know the last couple months of the season, like things tend to ramp up, and you know what I
yeah.
mean. Spots people move, especially out at the play-in tournament. People jump around all the time. But whoever at that mark is in playoff contention, those are the players who, you know what I mean, the all stars from that team. Those are the ones that get to go in and execute and fight for it.
But then you will leave out AD, LeBron, Steph Curry, even possibly Kevin Durant. They're playing awesome with Kevin Durant in the lineup, but without him, he's missed like 10 to 12 games. I want to say they suck without him, so their record is not good. But he's missing time. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I
then you
think,
would come
but
into situations like that.
I think naturally though, when and I'm not saying that your point or their point is irrelevant, but I think naturally speaking, let's just say like you said, a Shay's out there, a Sabonis or whoever playing hard. Naturally, everybody else is going to start playing hard because
That's
they
true.
don't want to get embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? So there's
That's a good
they
point.
still they still might be taking it chill, and then one or two times down, Shay come put you in a blender, dunk on you or whatever. I guarantee you, boys is going to start stepping it up because they don't
All
want
it
to be
takes
embarrassed
is
either.
all it takes is one person to
That's it.
start the
to
That's
dominoes.
it.
start going
You know?
hard. Yeah,
That's it. So that's why I don't think that would be an issue because even like let's just be real. LeBron starts seeing that. What you think? I don't care. He don't care if he 12 or 11. He gonna get hyped. LeBron gonna start getting out there like, oh yeah, we gotta get it. Like that's
it don't
literally
really take
what's
much
gonna
to
happen.
rev
It don't
Yeah,
LeBron.
take
no,
Yeah,
much.
you're
Like
right
it ain't
though.
gonna
It
take
only takes
much for
one
them.
person for sure.
Yeah. So I think it can work. I just think like from an incentive standpoint, I think the home court would be good. Like I said, if it was more competitive, because I used to like the All Star game, I really like I did.
I was saying back in the day, the
But
All Star
yeah,
game was
like
a big, big, big,
because
big,
they
big
used to
deal.
play, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Guys used to play. They were trying to show, hey, I'm better than you. But I also liked it when it was East versus West. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I
I
And
still
I
agree.
think
liked it
they're
when it was
going they're going back to that too. By the way,
It's too late
so
now. They should have gave it a year or
yeah.
two back to that format, and then
right?
tried
Then
to.
change
But
it. But yeah, like I don't know, like I used to be a fan of it, but like I said, it's probably been a few years since I've actually watched any, like when I say any of an All Star game, like I've been more of a fan of like the 3 point shootout or the skills
mm,
challenge or something like that. Like I'll
Yeah.
watch those little events, but the game itself, no. Like I'm actually like with you. I hadn't been a fan so much as since they changed it to the U.S. versus the world. I used to like the rookies versus sophomores. I just
I used
like
to
I don't
love that
understand why you
game.
changed that. Yeah, like I don't know why they changed that because that naturally it made those guys compete. You know what I'm saying? Like they naturally competed against each other because of that. But the
Yeah.
NBA always finds a way to mess these things up. So it is what it is.
Yeah. We'll see. Only other thing I had for the NBA is Jimmy Butler, man. Everybody talking about trades where he might go. Teams that want him and where he wants to go. I guess he's made a
Who
list.
Why does the
cares?
Warriors? How do the Warriors just get everybody?
Dallas, Golden State, Rockets, and Phoenix are the places that he wants to go, and that could make it work for his assets and money.
But none of the teams that need him are on the list.
That's true. because a lot of those teams are probably is cap strap. They can't afford this contract. You got to think that's 40 million that they're going to need.
How in the world can the Dallas Mavericks take on another contract? How can the Warriors take on another contract?
But you also got to think Dallas outside of their big guy, outside of like Luca, and I don't even think Kyrie is making that amount of money.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
But
Clay,
Kyrie making
Clay.
money. Kyrie,
Well, no, I'm
Kyrie
not
making
saying.
money.
I'm talking about, but he's not in that. He's not in that 50,
he's not
60
like
range.
50 million now.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not.
what I'm saying. Like he's not in
Well,
that 50, 60 range.
well, that's because he's still on his old contract. Don't forget,
Yeah,
he's up for contract.
No, he
right. But
just
Kyrie,
he just signed. They just re-signed
yeah, they
Kyrie.
just got him in the offseason. He's not 40, 50, 60. I don't think right
Yeah,
now.
he's
yes,
locked
he
But
in.
is.
He
where he
might
at?
be 40s. I don't think he's 50s though.
I'm looking it up right now.
But I think also too, like they got a lot of young guys too. So like majority of their roster is young guys. They're not super top heavy with a bunch of heavy contracts. And I think if you put a Clay in there, then I mean you can make that move. I don't
He's
think
at
you keep all
42.
four. Okay, 42.
It was
Yeah,
three. It
I
was
knew
three
he was
years,
in the 40s.
126.
But I don't think he. I don't think. Yeah, I think you put a Clay and some more pieces, and you can get it and still make the
You
money
think they
work.
would trade Clay already?
I just think. I mean,
Clay
I'm
is
just saying,
Clay
like,
is
if you
trash.
would
I've been
have
telling
to,
y'all, he's
you would have
trash,
to.
man.
I mean, just to make the money work, if nothing else.
I
Uh,
think
oh yeah,
PJ Washington would be included in that.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Maybe one of the young guys you put with a vet who makes some money, and then a couple picks, you can make that move. Just I mean, like I said, to make the money work.
Would y'all trade PJ and Clay
And
for
Clay,
Jimmy?
I don't like. I'm not a Jimmy guy, but I mean, I see
I'm
why they
not really.
would.
Yeah,
Yes.
he does everything though. But
And
Yeah,
if
him
you
and
and I
and
PJ,
if you know that you're and if you know that like in the play, first off, I think with Dallas they need that toughness. They need a better on ball defender. Clay is not back where he was before the injuries, so you need somebody who can really hold up the
how
guard out like a star in the playoffs. And I think
how is
Jimmy is
Jimmy
definitely that.
how is Jimmy off the ball though? So I mean
What do you mean?
that's balls. That's
Off
that's
the
gonna be
ball,
that's a lot
yeah.
of balls out there you gonna need if you bring Jimmy. I feel
But
like Clay is a
but
is
I
a
think
catch and shooter.
But
Like
I think Jimmy can also create too in those tough situations where you're not going to be able to double Luke
yeah, but
and
it's not gonna
Kyrie.
be. I don't know if it's enough basketball for him to be able to
I
create with
agree.
Kyrie
But
and
I
Luke.
but I think he could. I think he could fit as a third option in those games because you got to think of the playoffs. Like
I
it was
don't.
really hit or miss in with Luca and Kyrie in those games, especially against Boston. Like you couldn't get nothing out of them. You know what I
Yeah, they
mean?
could definitely
I
use the
don't see
defense for
Jimmy
sure.
Butler being okay being the third option at the end of a game.
I'm
Yeah,
not saying that.
I see
I'm
that.
not. I'm not necessarily saying at the end of the game, but I mean, I'm just saying
It would
like
have to be though. You think Luke or Kyrie is passing Jimmy the ball?
It's over with.
I'm just
It's
saying.
not happening, bro.
Okay.
Not happening.
I
I
just
can't
think if
see
we
it.
look, if somebody like Jimmy's walking in with his playoff resume and what he's done in the playoffs over the years, like I don't think you just say, "All right, come playoff time," like we're not going to incorporate him. Like you got to figure that out because you seen what Luca, like I said, Kyrie, especially in the finals, horrible games in the finals. You know what I mean?
Who?
And Kyrie
Yeah,
last
but he's
year when
also
he was.
had big moments. I
No,
mean,
he has, and Jimmy and like I said, and Jimmy's in the playoffs has had 40-point triple doubles. Like he's done everything that you could ask from a superstar in the playoffs, and I think just having that as an option, if Jason Kidd's any type of coach, you don't just ignore that, or you don't bring him in to just be like okay and forget about him. Like if you're gonna do that, stick with what you got. Because Klay Thompson is more forgettable in the playoffs, you could say, than bringing in somebody like Jimmy Butler, who's been a big name in the playoffs and who's led a team. So I say, if you're just gonna say, all right, if you're just gonna depend on Luca and Kyrie, then I say, hey, just depend on Luca and Kyrie and don't bring in nobody else. And if you're gonna have somebody who's just gonna be there to help out, you can let Klay do that. I mean, that's kind of where y'all are right now. And then, like you said, a Golden State Warrior, who would you put in that trade?
Kaminga, probably Moses
Kuminga.
Moody, maybe a pick or two, maybe Gary Payton the third or second, whatever.
I
I don't
say
know.
probably. Yep, Looney, somebody like that.
They might even
Mm.
want Trace.
So
I don't think they would
Dallas,
trade
they
Trace.
said one trade. They said one trade that works for Dallas is Jimmy Butler. The Heat gets Brandon Ingram, Marshall. Thaddeus. The Pelicans get Daniel Garford, Dwight Powell, and Klay Thompson. Pistons get Kebler and a Dallas number one pick. So it has to be a 4-team trade in order for that to work.
That's not happening. Yeah.
Golden State, they say um, the trade would they get Jimmy Butler. The Heat gets Kyle Anderson, Gary Payton II, Andrew Wiggins, a first round
Ooh,
pick,
ooh, that's too
a,
much.
a first round pick in a 2025 and a
That's too
2028
much
first
for
round pick,
Jimmy.
and
That's
then
way
the
That's too
too
much
much
for
for
Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler.
and then
Way too.
the Pistons get Looney, and then the Lakers pick
Oh,
via the Heat.
they would give up the whole team. No, they're not gonna
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
that's stupid.
That's
That's
crazy.
stupid if they did that.
Either
Another team that they mentioned was the Houston Rockets. The Rockets would get Jimmy Butler. The Heat gets uh, Adams, Brooks, Green, 2027 first
Jalen
round pick,
Green.
Jeff Green.
Oh, that's
Uh,
just bro.
2027 first round pick, the worst between whichever Houston and Brooklyn. A 2029 first round pick, the best of Dallas, Houston, and Phoenix. And that's the only way that works. And that's just in salary terms. The Phoenix Suns, just they would have to trade for Bill. He would have to waive his no trade clause, of course. And Miami would need to take back 110 million that's owed to Bill after this season. So they would have to eat the rest of Bill's contract
Not helping.
to make that
Not
work.
helping.
And then they're saying they only have a 2031 first round picks to Suns, so makes it unlikely. That's just too far out to have any impact.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm.
So yeah.
He'll be in
Um,
Miami.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's staying in Miami, and the only one that's none of those really seem liable
But
unless one of these teams closer to the deadline gets desperate.
and the team that could use them ain't said nothing. The Lakers, hello.
Yeah, but I think
I guess
money.
they wasn't on the list, so
Again, money wise, like, and then
just
the
don't
Lakers
understand.
again just don't want to come up off picks. Like they've been kind of
Yeah,
adamant
they
about that
got they
the
have.
past couple of years. They're like, look, no, we got to have something for post LeBron,
I feel
whatever
like
that
if
may be.
another team had some of the players that the Lakers had, I feel like the trade would get done. But since it's the Lakers, I feel like they're not. Nobody's willing to. Because I mean, it's crazy. Like, how do you not get Dennis Schroeder? Like, how do you not get
Bring
Cam
him back,
Thomas?
somebody who you won a championship with. Yeah.
Yeah, like how are you not even in the mix for any of these guys? That's so crazy to me. Like that's what leads me to believe that there's some kind of conspiracy behind it. Like it's like almost like collusion, bro. Like how do you not you're not able to get anybody? I mean, and then the trades that you have made. I mean, you've had to give up like I mean your whole life for the guys that you did get in. It's just
Yeah.
it's unbelievable to me.
And like I said, it just with AD and LeBron eating up so much of the cap, you know what I mean? It's really
But I
hard
mean, they're not
to
eating
go
up any
crazy.
more than any two other people
Well, no,
from the
I mean,
team. Like
yeah, but then with trades too, like people want draft capital, and the Lakers just refuse to give it up, and or don't have enough to push them over the envelope with a D'Angelo Russell. Like that's really the only person they really been dangling in front of people. But if you're not
and
gonna
that's an expiring contract. I
contract
mean,
right, you're
I
gonna have to
think
put some picks with it in order to
I
move.
was I was gonna say they should move on from Austin Reeves, but it really just that's me being a selfish one to see LeBron win fan.
Mhm.
Like the Lakers got to really figure out what it is for the future. That's probably another reason why they're not trying to make any trades because what they do is they keep giving up. They trade guys with expiring contracts for guys that have contracts, so they never can get guys off the books. It seems
Bucks
like they
and
always
then
trade
go and
people.
attack the free agent market.
Yeah, yeah, right. So I think that that's what they're trying to avoid. But it's just like, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
is
think
that
they're
more important than winning? Like,
yeah, but I think like they've tied so much up in this LeBron era, like you said, as far as money and picks and stuff. It's kind of like if we don't sit back and kind of just ride this out, then you're gonna look and whoever knows 2 or 3 years down the line, you're gonna have nobody and no assets
but
and
that's
not
true.
be able to go. You're gonna load up with a bunch of free agent talent and hope that mix just to fill
But,
seats.
but my thing is the only person that the Lakers have brought in that's an actual game changer since LeBron got there is AD.
Hmm.
Like you haven't brought in anybody that actually is like, okay, this guy's actually gonna do something. They
Hmm.
haven't had anybody else. Like, and it's just like, at what point do you bring in a game, even if they had like somebody along the likes of Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. I ain't saying you got to have another LeBron or another AD, but just somebody that's gonna change the game. Like I
Yeah,
thought they should have went after Kyrie. I even DeMar DeRozan would have been
yeah,
something nice. He's a game changer. You can
yeah,
put the ball in his hands and he can for sure get you some points. Lakers
yeah.
don't have anybody like that. They have, guys that may do something, may give you nothing. They got, streaky guys. They just got all these kind of guys. They have yet to put in a third um actual game changer. And
Creator, and I say a creator, somebody who can go and get it without the help of AD or
exactly,
LeBron.
exactly.
I
So,
think that's kind of what they've been. And a big, they need a big.
oh my
If
God.
nothing else, like
And then
go
they have
and
been
get
bitten
a
by the injury
big.
bug terribly though. Like Christian Wood still hasn't played a game. Vanderbilt, he hasn't played in like 2 years. Seems like. I don't know, man. I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah. If anything, find a decent big that's available and go after
bro.
them.
Please,
So you don't have to just. I mean, I just AD just clearly is just not comfortable at the five.
right? And it's like
He
you
just
never should
ain't
have even got rid of Dwight Howard. Like I don't
that part.
understand
And
why
he's
he's not
available,
playing.
and he's been, when he has played. I mean, granted, it's been overseas, but I mean, it ain't like he's just
Yeah.
lost.
They could use JaVale McGee.
Like I said, you don't need someone who's going to dominate, scoring. You just
Some
need somebody that's
rebounds
going
and
to
some
catch it,
block
catch it,
shots,
catch a
man.
couple eyes, play defense, and rebound. Like that's really it. So,
Yeah.
nah, I agree with you. But we'll see. I mean, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played. Um, moving right along, man. We're gonna get through this show. We're gonna jump into college football, of course. College Bowl week coming up the next couple weeks. I just put some of the notable ones out there. Of course, we got the first round of the playoff, which you get the IU Notre Dame, SMU Penn State, Clemson and Texas, Tennessee and Ohio State. But some of the notable bowl games, December 27th, OU and Navy. I mean, just two notable names. GT and Vandy. I thought that would be an important game just because they've been just disrupting people's seasons all season. So to see them go against each other, I think that'd be an interesting game. Texas A&M and USC. Again, just notable names. December 28th, you get Iowa State and Miami, which two teams that barely missed the playoffs based on conference play. BYU and Colorado, again, two good teams that missed the playoffs. I think that'd be a good game. December 30th, you get Iowa and Missouri, and then December 31st, you get Bama and Michigan. We'll be gone for these weeks. This will be our last show until January 7th. We're gonna take some holiday time, of course. Um, but that final week of the year, you get the 31st, New Year's Eve, you get the um, based on who wins those first couple of playoff games, you get Boise State the New Year's Eve, and then you get the who gonna play Arizona State on New Year's, Oregon and UGA that Saturday. I mean that New Year's Day game. So jam packed week. Next 2 weeks coming up for college football. By the time y'all see us again, we'll be heading into the semifinals um, on January 9th and 10th. So any about those games coming up, like any predictions y'all want to put in there, man? Who you think IU and Notre Dame, SMU, Penn State, Clemson, Texas,
I'm
Tennessee,
going SM.
OSU?
I'm going SMU. I'm
Okay.
going Notre Dame. I'm
Mm,
definitely betting Tennessee for sure because if the Ohio State don't win, I win money. So
okay.
I
So
win either way.
that'll smooth the blow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just my whole thing with Ohio State this year, and I'll make this brief. It's just that I don't know what they're trying to do. Like, I don't know what the game plan is. So it's just like it's hard for me to say, oh yeah, they're gonna win because I don't even know what we're gonna come out and try to do. So I can't even say, oh yeah, Tennessee can lock that up or Tennessee struggles against that. I have no idea. Like we don't try to run the ball. We don't throw the ball deep. So yeah, if we play in a box, then we can be beaten by anybody. So it's just like I don't know what we're gonna be looking to do, like what kind of game we're
Mm,
gonna play. So I mean, I
No,
don't
this
know. So I can't really even really make a judgment on it, man. I obviously I want us to win, but I honestly can't sit here and give a prediction because I just don't know what we're gonna try to do. So um yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely gonna be tuned in, but I'm not expecting anything at all. Like I said, I'll be betting big on Tennessee. So win or lose, I win.
what about you, Justin? Any notable bowl week games coming up that you are looking forward to seeing?
Um, yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the Notre Dame IU game. I actually think IU's gonna pull that out.
Hmm.
Um, I, and
That's
that's mainly because one, Notre Dame can't throw the ball. They're very one dimensional. They're very good at running. Don't get me wrong, but IU also has one of the best run defenses in the country. Believe it or not, and I already kind of gave my spiel on the whole Ohio State IU game where people didn't want to give them credit. If it wasn't for the special teams, that's a totally different ball game. But that's here nor there. Special teams is part of the game.
Mhm.
But even then, I think they still held Ohio State to the second fewest yardage that Ohio State all season. So IU didn't get out powered per se, and I just can't see where Notre Dame has enough firepower on offense unless they just get that run game going. Because what is it, Leonard Riley or whatever? He can't throw. So I just
Mm.
can't see. I just can't see. I can't see them beating IU with IU. I think IU is better offensively, and I think now both defenses are good,
Definitely
but
more
I,
versatile
yeah,
offensively.
yeah. I just think IU just more versatile, can run it and throw it. So I'm gonna take IU in that game. I'm actually looking forward to that one. I think that's gonna be a good one. Um, I was surprised by the Penn State ones, who was that? Oregon in the Big Ten. Like, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that from Penn State, so I'm kind of curious to
Yeah.
see what they look like. Because I'll be honest, I thought they were gonna get smacked.
If that
Um,
Penn State shows up, then I
yeah,
think SMU gonna have a long night.
Hey, I've been
I
saying this.
agree.
I've
I
been
agree.
saying this all year. Oregon is not that good. Been saying it all year.
But here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. I don't. I mean, Oregon. I can still see Oregon just winning the whole thing. I agree with you. I don't think that they're great, but I don't know that there's not one team. Like, I look at Texas and it's like I think they can get past Clemson, but Quinn Ewers has been playing terrible. Like, I just
Yeah,
don't think
Yeah.
I don't you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Texas holds enough of a
yeah.
problem.
I mean, they might be the best team in it. I mean, I guess it's
I
like
just
I
also
you
mean
know what I'm
because
saying?
I mean because you gotta look.
Georgia is playing without their starter. I just got a notification that they're saying that they're preparing to play without Carson Beck, which is crazy. That changes them a lot.
Yeah, that changes everything for
Um,
Georgia. Even though their backup, I heard
It's
he was
pretty
a
good.
high recruit, and I heard he was decent. I don't know enough about the
he's cool.
kid.
I think he's a youngster. I mean, he definitely won the game for him. He came in the first possession and scored a touchdown. I mean, he didn't really do much
Yes,
after that.
yes, yeah,
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. And Georgia's one of those programs that, man, they just reload. They don't waste
yeah.
time
Oh,
crying about spilled milk. Like they just gonna
Yeah.
yeah.
go out there,
And he's
get
not a
somebody else
bum.
out
The dude
there.
behind him ain't a bum. I mean, he was a
Yeah.
five
Yeah.
star for a reason. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So
So
hey,
And
honestly, this is how I feel about Oregon. Like I honestly don't think that we don't have a chance, and we're not playing good at all. Like we haven't played good all season. I mean, I knew based on the Iowa game that bro, we're just not good. This quarterback doesn't have it. Like it's over. But
yes,
I don't think we get ran off by Oregon. Like we actually should have beat them the first time. Like
okay.
and that was playing a horrible game. Our special teams in that game sucked.
So
You know
can
let's
I
what
say
I'm
this
saying?
though?
go ahead,
Or
Justin.
let me ask y'all this: Is it safe for me to say, even though like we've said this, I don't think Oregon's unbeatable by any stretch of the imagination, but they've probably been the most consistent team.
I agree with that. But
Yeah.
I'm also
So, like, you kind of know what you're gonna get. You know?
right. I think let's take a half a step back and just because we're missing a component, the matchup
Hmm.
component of the next round.
Yes, yes, true,
So
true.
you
Yes,
looking
yes,
at the teams that's waiting in the next round. You look at Oregon, which they're undefeated, but they've been played very tough, and this is by Big Ten teams. Which not saying Big Ten is a slouch by any measure, but I'm just saying they've been played real tough by Big Ten teams. And then you, like we just talked about, Georgia. You got Andrew quarterback, and now you have an unproven coming in. He played a little bit, like you said, highly recruited, but Carson Beck ain't been the best quarterback this year either. Because a lot of their
No.
losses has been interception driven by him. You look
Mhm.
at Arizona State and Boise State. Whoever gets those two, probably the two most winnable games. But then if you
Oh,
get
yeah.
an IU at Boise State with their run defense against Gentry, that's gonna be a great matchup. Whoever gets Arizona State, let's say Penn State gets that, that's gonna be crazy. Penn State could probably dominate that and be, you know what I mean, in that semi championship just based on the matchups they get. SMU, and then you turn around and draw Arizona State possibly.
I agree and I disagree with that. And the only reason why I say that is I always feel, and that's basketball or football in sports in general, there's always something to the unknown team.
Hmm.
On paper,
I'm just saying, yeah,
BSU
and that's what, yeah,
and Arizona, they shouldn't. But there is something to both of those things. Both of them have really good running backs. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Like both of them got really good running backs. And I think if you're able to run the ball, that gives you a chance in any game. Period.
And
Period.
then do we get another Texas Georgia matchup, or does Texas get Oregon? That's a brand new top five matchup that we didn't get this season. You know what I mean? Instead of kind of having a repeat.
Do you
And
bench
then,
when he struggles against Clemson?
hell
Like, do you bench him
yes,
and put Arch Manning in?
yes, because a lot of he's not been the best either since he been back. So
No, he's.
yes,
They said he's still not 100%.
fine.
So,
Then we have more of a reason, and we could justify it real time.
mm-hmm.
Yes, and then
I mean,
Ohio.
do you get? How long is his leash though, Vern, in this game against Clemson? How long is his leash? If he's struggling, let's say the first half, are you
That's
saying you
that's
go to
your
Arch
leash.
to start the second?
That's your leash. The first
Okay,
half, because
okay,
in these games, in these type of games, it's shown that you cannot wait too long. Because there's been
true,
games where
true.
teams done put them in and make that change in the fourth quarter, and y'all done battle back and y'all still losing by a score. Where it's like, what if we'd have had half of the third quarter? You know what I mean? Or a whole
Mhm.
half, you could complete the comeback possibly. Um, but at this point, if you're going in against Oregon or Georgia, and you know what I mean, I would specifically say Oregon because they don't have the injury bug like a lot of these other teams. But you do that, and Texas, you waiting around with your like Oregon will stay on you. They will stay on you. So with that, especially that being in California, that's a short trip too for those fans to to get to that stadium. Oregon usually travels well, especially on the West Coast. Yeah, I think that'd be tough for Texas to wait if somebody like Oregon or Georgia is on their heels. But I
I think
think if
Texas lost their
but
chance at a national championship when they benched Quinn Ewers in the Georgia game. It's over. Like you
mm,
can't you just don't do stuff like that. Like
and
as soon as that happened, I was like, yeah, they're not gonna win it. You
and
just destroyed all the team morale. Like now you got the
Yeah,
quarterback looking over
yeah,
his
true.
shoulder.
Yeah.
It was at that point I was like, yeah, Texas is done.
But remember, I forgot what game it was when we were talking about. And remember, I told you, I'm like, there's a chance that they're gonna bring in Manning if you're
Yeah, and you
struggling.
were right, and
And they
that
can't,
killed their season. But
yeah.
I mean, shit.
But I mean, just the
Y'all,
buzz around Manning, and it ain't like Manning's coming in and just as bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can see if
get
it's just
that,
like,
but I mean, it's like if you had to make, I think they would have had a better chance if you'd have just like told Quinn Ewers to kick rocks after that point. But like, you can't bench a starting quarterback and then bring him back and then expect him to have anywhere near the effectiveness that he's had all season. Like, you
especially when
can't
you
do
have
stuff.
a really good backup. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do stuff like that. Like I can almost feel it. Like pause. Like when it happened, I was like, oh yeah, they really just screwed off. They jacked off a national championship hope. Just
But I
you
think also too, like, if the team was losing with Manning, I would have been like, okay, yeah, the team ain't really responding good to him. But it was like the team, it's not like there's a shift in how like people are playing with Manning in there. It's like I think they respect both of them quarterbacks. And that's the only reason why I said what I said then is that the switch is okay with them too, because I think the team really respects both of those guys as their quarterback and their leaders to coached them to the
Yeah,
win because
but
they both
like
been winning for them.
like they always say, if you got two quarterbacks, you have none.
No, right? That's true
So
too. I
it
agree with
just
that
does
also.
the quarterback. It doesn't work like that. Every other position, cool. Quarterback, it does not work like that. You got to
Yep.
pick a quarterback and you got to go with him.
Yeah,
Especially if he's no, you got to go with him, man. And then he's gone after this year, and damn, the Broncos is hooping, and Arch Manning is gonna be that guy next year. Um, yeah, I just yeah, I've just watched so much football. Like you just can't do that.
yeah. So again, man, like these matchups and a lot of these early playoff games, like it's gonna like whoever wins and how they seed up is gonna be very important. Because
Hmm.
Oregon Ohio State rematch, I don't think Ohio State loses that game again.
I'm something on that game for sure.
I do not believe they lose that
I
game
like
again to
their
Oregon.
chances against them better than I like them against Tennessee. It's just too much unknown with Tennessee. Like this is the second time I think in the history the two teams have played. So yeah, it's just too much unknown with Tennessee. Um, I feel like Ohio State can win an Oregon rematch,
I do
especially in the
too.
Rose Bowl too. Like
Yeah,
it's just yeah. I mean, both teams are comfortable. Don't get me wrong. Both teams are comfortable in the Rose Bowl because I think we've played them in the Rose Bowl before, back when Terrell Pryor was out there. So like, I
TP.
like I like them. What's that?
That
yep.
was one of my favorite. Said that was one of my favorite Ohio State quarterbacks.
Oh, that was
TP,
my
boy,
guy. My
that
ultimate
was my
favorite
guy.
was Braxton Miller. Though. That's my favorite probably football player. Though.
Braxton.
Yeah,
I did like
that
Braxton
was
too,
my
though. I
guy.
did like
He was
Braxton.
a
Yeah,
dog. Like he
yeah,
was a
I did
dog.
like Braxton. But TP, that was my dude, boy.
Yeah, he was hard. He could hoop too.
Yeah,
He's a really good
yeah.
basketball player.
All right,
So,
man. Shoot. Last but not least, um, NFL, man, we're just gonna talk about the playoff picture right now.
Okay.
How teams can clinch the last few teams to clinch, AFC and NFC wise, with another week in the belt. So we got the Ravens can clinch with a win at Pittsburgh or loses Indianapolis or Miami. The Broncos can clinch with a win against the Chargers or loses in Cincinnati, Indianapolis, or Miami. And the Chargers can clinch with a win at Denver plus losses from Indianapolis and Miami. So there's about 3 or 4 games that all impact each other in the AFC picture for that last wild card spot. Those
yeah,
last two wild card
I hope the
spots.
Broncos win. Get the Bengals out of here. They don't deserve no playoffs.
And then in
Dang.
Let's
hey
go have
man,
fun
hey,
these last three
I'm
games.
look, I'm with you, bro. With that with the coast too, it's like, man, we don't had too many chances in a lot of games for us to be again at this point. Which the past couple of years we've been at this point where it comes down to the last couple games of the season, and we lose the game ourselves. It's not the other teams beating us; we lose it ourselves. So yeah, I'm fine with Indianapolis being out, but I mean, if there's a chance, I mean, I'll take that little 11% chance or whatever they're saying. Um, Jumping over to the NFC side, we got the Lions, Eagle, and Vikings. They've all clinched. The Packers are on the verge. They need to win against the Saints, but they can also get in with Falcons losing, um, with the loss from the Falcons, or either the Seahawks or Rams. So um, the Eagles will win the NFC East if they beat Washington this weekend. The NFC South appears to just be between the Buccaneers and Falcons, which it looked like Tampa Bay's probably going to win it. And the NFC West is still wide open with the Rams still having a high chance to make the playoffs and win the division. So 50% chance for them to do both. Um, but yeah, the Commanders can clinch a playoff spot with a win and the Falcons loss, in addition to a loss from either the Rams or the Seahawks. So it's a lot of scenarios in the NFC just because things are a lot tighter than the AFC right now. But yeah, man, that's really all I got, man. Pick 'em records. Yeah, man. Justin, we still fighting this fight, man?
What's
Right
that?
now, I said this pick'em record, man. We still fighting this fight. Ike's
What's
at
that?
156 and it's 68.
Hmm.
You at 136 and 80. You still ain't
Hmm.
conceding, man. You gonna fight these last couple weeks,
Why
Might
not?
as well.
I'm
and
do it for
hopefully,
fun. Like, why
and
would I?
hopefully, and
Yeah.
hopefully, Ike just I don't know, man. I just
I
tired of
mean,
him
I know what
winning
you care.
everything, man.
I do it for fun. Like, I guess if we
Just
pick
to
this
taunt him.
differently, I would do it. Like, I would do it different. But I always just pick for fun. Like, It's just
Do
for
I need to
fun.
put some money on the line next year?
Yep.
I would pick different if you did that. I'll say it that
Okay.
way.
All right. I'll put it
Like
like
if we
this.
had
I'm
some,
saying.
if we had something on it, or like if we were really like, hey, these are picks for the fans to listen to, kind of thing. That's different. But like me, I just kind of go on a limb with a lot of my picks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. How about this? So we can all have a vested interest in it. How about this? We all put in $25, which will make it $100 to the winner, and everybody's contributing. Then, so it ain't like I'm putting up the $100 and I'm playing for my own money. Everybody's contributing, and the winner gets $100 at the
I'm
end
with
of the
it.
season. We'll do it next year.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, because y'all know how I pick, so I'll
Yeah, we
definitely do
gonna
something to
satisfy
motivate me
people.
to pick different.
Fucking Colts
But I
against
think
the
I think
Chiefs.
with anything,
The
you
coast,
I
the coast
I,
against the world.
I
Colts.
I think with anything, you just, I mean, if you have whatever it is,
An
money,
incentive,
whatever,
yeah,
food, whatever it is, if you have an incentive, you just, I mean, you do it different. That's all. I ain't gonna concede because I have fun picking. Like I just
yeah.
have fun seeing if some of the crazy things I'll be going through in my head, if they actually come out. You know what
Play
I
out,
mean?
be like, yes,
Yeah.
I stole that one. I stole that one. Nobody was thinking about it. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But right now, man, for the people who listening, I went 11-5 last week. I'm at 128 and 94. Of course, Jared, he just missed too many weeks to have stayed in it. Ike is 13-3 last week. He's at 156 and 68. And Justin, you went 11-5 at you're at 136 and 80. So 20 games back on Ike for Justin. So but we gonna pick again, man. We already threw our picks in there. But we can run through them real quick for this schedule this week.
While you
Um,
doing that, just curious, do y'all like the move to Michael Penix? Because I actually think it should have happened probably about 2 weeks ago. But
Man,
um,
I'm torn because like, bro. So what are you gonna do
you don't
with
pay you
this?
don't pay all that money for that.
Yeah, like, bro, that's crazy. That's
I
but
think you
does
ride
he
it
man,
not make?
for that amount of money you ride it out. That's all I'm saying.
man,
But as
bro.
bad as he's been for about 5 weeks, bro,
You
like
never
your
should have.
team,
You
and if
never should have drafted Buddy, man. That's crazy. But
I
I mean, I
mean,
get it. But like, you just signed this guy to $180 million. Like, he's, I don't know.
but
Yeah,
did you
no, I'm
know,
with you.
like, did you know they paid out like 60 something million of that this year?
How much is guaranteed on it?
I think it was something like they could end
I
up
think I think it was
trading
100.
him, and it's like a, yeah, I think it's like 100, but like they can end up trading him or something, and it's like a $27 million cap hit, which ain't terrible.
Yeah, they're fried though.
Oh yeah,
That's
100.
that's
But
a
I,
that's a
again,
mess.
I can admit I've never been a Kirk Cousin person, so I never would have gave dude that money. So it
They never should have
just
even been
wouldn't
in a
happen.
position to where this is stupid. It's almost like if I'm the Falcons, I'd rather just him be sucking without having a. I don't know. I don't know because like
Yeah, but
if
yeah.
Michael Penix come in and kill it. I mean, you just wasted so much money. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, but again, then you also like a Falcon team is kind of like a few other teams where it's like you got a lot of young talent that's starting to flourish, the Londons and the Robinsons and stuff like that, and it's just like even on defense, they got some young pieces in there. It's like, do you bring in a rookie trying to figure his way out and waste another possible 2 seasons, or do you try to make a push in an open NFC South?
I'll say
So I
this.
think they
I
kind of did
think
it based on the division and knowing that, hey, look, the Saints ain't what they was. We're only really gonna be fighting with Tampa Bay because I mean everybody assumed Carolina was gonna be what they was.
yeah, I mean they still got a chance to make the playoffs, and I'll say this. We can't forget Michael Penix ain't like any rookie. He's the in the Bo Nix and the
Yes.
Jaden Daniels. I mean, he's an older rookie, so he has a
Right.
ton of starts. So I think you got to keep that in mind too. Not saying
Right.
he's gonna come in and do anything, like,
Right.
but he's not a guy who didn't like a Richardson, who
Right.
had
Right.
10
Who didn't
starts in
have
college.
yes
So I think, and I wouldn't say it's a total waste, Jared, because at the very least, Penix got to see somebody do it at
the
a
offense
professional
right.
level and start, yep, like as far as preparation and all that, because they always talk about how big Alex Smith was for Mahomes and guys like that, just from a preparation and a mental understanding of the game. it helped them tremendously grow. So I don't know that it's a waste. Do you want to spend that kind of money on that? No, but I don't know that it's a waste. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Because if Penix comes in and is killing it, I'll be honest, you're not gonna think nothing about paying Kirk Cousins that money. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
shoot, we got our quarterback. I
That's
don't
because
care.
they have unlimited money. But I'm definitely still gonna be like, man, they paid this fool all that money.
Yeah, but I also think too,
Like,
it's like, did you really pay that money to have someone there to show your rookie how to,
no,
move
not
through?
180 million. Hell
Well, I'm
no.
just saying. I'm saying, like, when you talk about a waste, it's like, hey, look, at least our rookie got to sit behind somebody who's been in the league for a while, played for multiple
Hey,
teams.
they can make it
You
as
know what I
sweet
mean?
as they
Know
want
how to
to.
be a professional. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
just
they
saying,
can
if
make it
nothing
as
else.
sweet as they want to. But I mean, you could have set him behind Jameis Winston, and he could have probably got a better assessment or whatever. But
You ain't
so
wrong.
Okay.
You ain't wrong
Okay.
about that.
So here
I
we
agree.
go.
I agree.
So on that Kirk Cousins contract, I just looked it up. Potential out 2026, 2 years, 100 million. So yeah, so they the cap hit next year would be 40 million if they got rid of him. But if they wait to after 2025 to get rid of him, then the cap hit is way less. All his guaranteed is paid.
buddy, out of here then.
So yeah, from what I'm looking at, yeah,
But I also
And
I also said, and I think this is on record too. Like I thought Penix was the most NFL ready quarterback coming in. That was my like pick for, you know what I'm saying, if I had to pick one of these quarterbacks, I would have grabbed Penix first. I don't understand how Drake May went higher. Jaden Daniels maybe,
hype.
but also I think Jaden Daniels is more of a dual threat quarterback. Like Michael Penix is a straight
He's a
passer.
he's a
passer.
gunslinger, boy.
He's a
Hmm.
straight
But he's
drop back.
mobile. That's the thing. He's mobile though. It's just
Is
when he
he?
had them knee
But the
injuries that
only
yeah. When he was at IU before the knee injuries, like
that's what
even
I'll
when he went
say.
to the
That
combine. Now I'm not a big combine guy, but he ran like a 4.5.
yeah.
No way.
The only
Yes,
thing though with
for
Penix
real.
though,
Michael Penix Jr. ran a 4.5.
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna have to
the,
look that one
It's
up,
them.
the
It's
bro.
them knee. It's them knee injuries, man.
That's all I'm about to say.
That's why he won't move.
That's the only thing I was about to say with Atlanta with that offensive line, like, or I wouldn't have been in a super rush to throw Penix out there
Damn,
either.
he did. He ran a 4.46. That's
I told you.
crazy.
I told
That
you.
is
He can
absolutely
move, bro.
nuts. I
He can
didn't know
move.
that. I thought he was a
Yeah.
statue.
No,
I've been
no, no, no.
asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he can move. It's
Damn.
just I think the knee injuries made him say, "Look, I'm gonna just chill back here and throw this thing." But I think in
yeah,
the NFL, you're gonna see more of that mobility come out when he's extending plays. I think you will see more of that in the NFL.
yeah.
Like I personally think he was a way better fit to begin with than Kirk Cousins, given the young talent you have around there because he pushes the ball down the field. Like Drake London and even
And they have a
Mooney's having
bunch.
a
Yeah, that's what I
great
say. They have
year.
some big
Like
receivers too that
they
you could put the
yeah,
ball up
they
on. Yeah,
yeah, like even Kyle Pitts is going to be much better with a guy who could push it down the field because he's not a traditional tight end. Now, don't get me wrong, Kyle Pitts isn't great by any stretch, but where he excels is the mismatches where he can get down the field and all that. Well, Penix can throw those balls now. So we'll see. I mean, he might come out and suck, but we'll see. I think they could be one of those sneaky picks because there is no tape on Michael Penix. Where these last few weeks, teams going to struggle to defend him because they don't have any tape on how to necessarily defend him and stop what he can do.
right. And then if he drags them across the finish line and happens to get that playoff spot, bro,
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna be a lot of talk in the offseason about who won't cut Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
might see
think they
Kirk.
tried to trade him.
Yeah, you're gonna see Kirk Cousins. You're gonna see him somewhere in New Orleans, Carolina. You're
I
gonna
don't
see
think
him somewhere else.
I don't think they cut him because I don't think they're
No,
going to
no,
go
you're
with
gonna
Jimmy
trade him.
G
No, no,
with
no, no. There's definitely gonna be a
Russ.
trade.
But yeah, I think they're definitely going to be looking for a trade partner if
Yeah,
Penix comes in and does well.
yeah. And there'll be suitors for
Oh,
Kirk.
It
100%.
is.
Yeah,
I mean, you
There
it
you
will.
always
always
is.
have teams that's well coached. Like a good spot that I think that he could thrive in is Pittsburgh, but I think they set up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
But
no, I think
those
yeah.
kind of
I'd much
teams,
rather have
Kirk
Russell than him.
Cousins. No,
Or
for sure. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like those. That's the kind of team that he would be a good suitor for. Team
100%.
yeah.
that's
100%.
disciplined, good defense. Really, that's it. I mean, I would say good running game, but I mean, running backs are a dime a dozen these days. I mean, you
Yeah.
like suitable, doable. Running backs are obviously
You know where
Saquon and goddamn Henry ain't, but
The
you,
the
you know
Browns.
where
There's a few
you
teams.
got
Like I
little
said, even
guys
New
that
Orleans.
that can just give
he
you,
probably would have been he would if he was the old Kurt where he was more serviceable and actually can throw the ball, he would have been a nice fit in Tennessee.
That's another one too.
Ooh, that's a
Yep.
really good one. Hey, another one I
He
thought
would have.
of: New York Giants. If they don't
That's
pick,
Yep,
I
but
would.
but they're
I'm
gonna draft
as
a
sorry.
long
quarterback.
as
They're
long as
draft.
you get rid
There's
of
a quarterback
that
coming.
you got to get rid of that coaching staff. You got to start over. You got to
Oh
hit the reset
yeah,
button
yeah.
on that.
They
That
probably.
staff is horrible.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I actually like Brian Dayball. I think I do like him, but I'm with you. I think they're gonna end up having to clean house. But
You're gonna have to.
if they clean house, I guarantee you, Brian Dayball is somebody offensive coordinator next year. I
Yeah,
promise you that.
and then even if you bring in a Kirk Cousins and still draft a young guy, like I
No,
said,
I
you
ain't bringing in
pay.
Kurt.
I'm just
Mm-mm.
saying. I'm just saying if you were to, like, nobody's gonna be like, okay, that's a bad move, because again, like, you bring
He's
in a new
probably gonna be
regime.
like, man, if y'all don't trade me somewhere where y'all ain't bringing in nobody else,
That's
not
right.
Well,
my
he's not
Jets.
gonna go through the Giants because Kurt has a no trade clause.
Does he?
Yeah,
Shit.
he has
Okay.
the okay to trade.
If
He
he's
has the
not
okay
gonna
to
play
trade.
though, I'm pretty sure he would take a trade to somebody where he knows he's gonna be number one guy. Like, I don't see
And
why he would.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
most players use a no trade clause to pick a team. They don't really use it to be not traded. When the situation comes to the table where they're like, hey, look, we're thinking
Yeah,
about moving you. It's
Yeah,
more of a
yeah.
like, hey, look, I'm only gonna waive it if you move me to here, 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 here. So it's not really a no trade clause. Like, oh, y'all can't trade me. It's more of like, hey, look, I get to pick
True.
where I go. So,
True. That's true.
so I mean,
Do you put him with the Jets?
hell yeah.
I
Yep.
don't like
Yep.
I think
I
all
say
those teams
the
are on the
Jets.
table.
I say the
Yeah.
Jets. I say hell. New Orleans might could take a
That's
look
what
at
I
it.
said. A New Orleans, a Tennessee, a
The
Browns.
Raiders,
Because I
I
think
just
the Browns get from under Watson this year.
The Raiders, the Browns. I think should explore it. Dallas. Nah, I'm just kidding. Um, I don't be poking fun at that. I actually mess with Dallas. I'm just being stupid. Yeah, man. There's a couple little spots
there's a
like
few teams that could kick the tires on it for sure.
shit. Because I mean, I don't even understand the hype around JJ McCarthy. Like y'all got to see
I don't
his
either.
card value.
I don't
Like,
either.
bro, this dude ain't
Yeah.
even played. He wasn't even
But
killing
Yeah,
in
bro.
college. Like he was consistent, but he wasn't just killing. Like
but I think because of, again, like, that system that O'Donnell runs and all the QBs just over the past 2 years that done went through there and had somewhat success,
Yeah,
I
but
think they're looking at that possibility.
the GM and the coach, you lose your job if you move on from Darnold. He goes on to have success. You get McCarthy, and then you finish last in your division. That's a recipe to lose your job.
Yeah.
I'm just being real. That's a recipe. That's a recipe to lose your job. Because if he could do it with anybody, they would have just ran with Nick Mullins. There's
yeah,
I'm
something to
not
a
saying
player that you
anybody. I'm
gotta
just saying
have.
the players. I'm just saying the QBs. This came that what 1 year they had what 4 different starting QBs or something just based on injuries.
Hmm.
So I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
and they won a couple games with that. I think they still had a winning record or whatnot with that. So I'm not saying like just anybody, but I'm just saying like you drafted McCarthy for a reason to obviously be the future there. So and I think Darnold, even with his success this season, like you came into this season also knowing that you were going to be backing him up. So to bring him back in the McCarty back in the starter role, I don't think Darnold is like super mad, but it's kind of like one of them
yes, he
situations
is.
too. It's like, I mean, are you when you knew you were going to be a backup? Granted, it's not
Darnold,
based on really
Darnold wasn't
success.
gonna be Darnold wasn't the
Did he not?
backup.
You didn't think so?
No, they brought him in to start.
But we didn't even get enough out of McCarty to know, right? What game did he
Yeah,
get? What game did
in the
he got injured
preseason
in
when they started the
preseason?
preseason, it was
yeah.
Darnold running with the ones. Don't get me wrong, JJ, like most of the rookies, that you get a little bit of time with the ones, but no, Darnold came in to be the starter because they said
Yeah.
they didn't know that if JJ would be ready to be the starting quarterback this year.
I
I thought
mean,
they brought in Darnold after Buddy got hurt.
no,
Who?
Donald was there. Donald was there when they drafted him.
They had been signed Darnold before the
Mm.
draft and stuff.
But again, like, I mean, somebody that young, are you really bringing them in to ride behind? Like, that's just how the NFL is now. I don't see McCarthy sitting for that long, especially to draft that high. Like, I just don't see that. I mean, it could be, and especially after this season, they may ride out with him another year, especially based on that injury. Like, there's no rush to bring him back. I think you just have to. I think Donald was only on a 1 year deal, so you probably just You know,
Yeah, he is because they were saying somebody's gonna pay Darnold. Darnold. They said based upon his play this year, Darnold's probably made himself a $40 million a year quarterback.
yeah. But I mean, again, I mean, there's teams they'll be viable for him, and a lot of these other guys, the Genos, and I think who else is Russell? It's a couple QBs that's gonna be free agents this year.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna
I
have a
mean,
few
there's gonna be
vets.
some veterans out there
Mm-hmm.
that you can watch. Bradford. I'm not Bradford. Stanford. Um,
Stafford.
Stafford. Blah. I
Boy,
just
you
named.
said everything
I
but
say
Stafford.
every Rams quarterback, right? Except for the right one.
I mean,
Stafford. Yeah,
Stanford.
I say Bradford, right?
Yeah,
Stafford. He'll be a free agent, so there's gonna be some guys out there for teams to really go after. So it'll be a
yeah,
competitive
for
market
sure.
this year. At least it'll be five comparable quarterbacks out there to go for it. So we'll see. Nonetheless, but that's all I got, man. Any final thoughts, man? We can get out of here for
Um,
this 2 weeks.
damn, I had something, but it slipped my mind.
No
Oh,
defunds. We ain't gonna end the year with a defund.
I'm not gonna. I was getting ready to defund Travis Hunter's girlfriend, but I ain't gonna do that.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna do that. Love who you love, but yeah, she's tripping. But yeah, moving
What
right
about
along.
what about you, Justin? Man, any final thoughts, man? The end of year with. All right. Yep. If you're talking, we cannot hear you. It looks like his mic is moving, but I can't hear him. So I don't know what happened.
It looks like his mic is muted.
That's I,
Oh no! That's your second camera.
yeah, that's the second camera. No, his mic is not muted. I don't know. Um, well, I'm just gonna throw my final thought out there. Final thought is first off, I appreciate all y'all and all the contributors of the show so far in the season this year. I got everybody Christmas gifts this year because, like I said, I really appreciate y'all. So when I see y'all, I will be giving y'all gifts. Um,
Wowzers! Well, I got something
uh,
for you too, buddy.
appreciate that. Wait a minute, is this something I bought?
Huh?
Is it the shirts I bought?
No. I
Oh,
got.
okay. Oh, so I'm like, oh, I know we had transaction, but yeah, no, everybody. Ike, I'm gonna mail him his. Brandon, Jonathan, Boom, John, everybody. So everybody who's contributed this year, I have gifts for. So, and because I appreciate y'all, man. This don't work with just me. So all y'all, even the people who've been here part time, Ike doing the pickums for us, Justin keeping the group jumping with his posts and comments and things like that. Just everybody, you being here consistently every week. Boom in our group chat. I mean, he doesn't make it on the show much, and he ain't in the comments a lot, but he do drop little gems into the group chat if nothing else. Crossroad Sports. I mean, anytime I need Brandon or Jonathan to come on, they're more than willing to come on. Even some nights where they're doing their show and coming over like 10 minutes after their show is over. So I definitely appreciate both of them. And moving forward through the NBA and definitely through March Madness, we'll be leaning on them guys heavily to help our show out. So I just appreciate all y'all, man. So I made sure this year that I got everybody something to show my appreciation. So that's my final thought.
Alrighty, see y'all in 2025.
Yeah, man. We see y'all 2025, January 7th, man. We'll be back that Tuesday. So, Holla, this has been the Epic Podcast for 2024, man. We see y'all in 2025.
Yes, sir.